Do not adjust your screens. Holy cow. Hey, it's Tony Twist here with ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. And it's been a while. I think it's probably been about a year since I've done a live show. So it's great to be back. I got an awesome guest today. You've probably seen me on quite a bit of Going Ringside with Scott over there at Going Ringside out of Jacksonville, Florida. So shout out to Going Ringside. Always love doing spots on their news channel. If you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out at Going Ringside on Instagram, X, Facebook. But hey, I'm excited to be here, man. We're in the middle of about to be a huge pay-per-view, or I'm sorry, PLE for the WWE SummerSlam weekend, night 1, night 2. Excited to discuss the card, and I'm going to be going over it with our guests, who I would like to welcome at this time. And I'll be honest with you, I caught this clip a couple of years ago. My son and I were scrolling through Instagram, and we caught it, and we died laughing. You're going to love this guest. I'm gonna let you know who he is right now, and you'll definitely know it from this clip.
I was never gay.
Exactly.
Wait, no, stop.
Yes.
No, stop. You can't. I was never gay.
Okay.
No, I was never gay.
Sure.
You can't just state something, then snap your fingers, and then be like, I was never gay.
If you say so.
I know it's an old clip, but it still makes me crack up. But I'd like to welcome our guest, who's also a huge wrestling fan, Mr. Dayo Adebola. Welcome to ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast, man. You're my first guest in a long time. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. Sorry about that. My microphone was on mute. You would think after all the time I spent in the studio, I would know how to work mute button, but I guess not.
Right? I mean, technology sometimes fails us, man. I work for a tech company, and you'd be shocked at times. It's like, wait a minute, we're a tech company and we don't know how to do this. It's like, yeah, right.
It's funny because I do a bit of work as a lot of work. It's my 9 to 5, and the digital department, the IT department of a company as well. So like I'm very well versed with how that goes.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And you're coming to us all the way from Dubai.
Yes.
So I appreciate it. I know it's later at night there. It's early here in the morning on the West Coast. So I appreciate your time and coming on, man. And like I said, that clip, how many times do you think you've seen that clip?
At least 100. At least 100. If I haven't seen it, I've had it quoted to me. So yeah.
Now tell me about your guys' show, man. I know you're a wrestling guy, and I want to get into that. But for my audience that may not be familiar with you, tell me how you met up with your partner. I don't know if you guys are related or just friends. I think you're originally from Nigeria, right?
Yeah. So I was born in Nigeria. I lived in Nigeria pretty much all my life until 2012, and then I moved here to Dubai for like university and stuff. And then in regards to the show, it's not even. I love talking about this to people because the first thing is it's always, tell us about your show, and I'm like, guys, it's not a show,
right?
It's just it's a bunch of clips that's making fun of normal podcasts, and so there isn't an actual show there, but we have talked about actually doing one and stuff like that. The guy that you normally see me with is actually my younger brother. So he started social media, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And he did this one video that went like super viral with the whole if thing. And a few years later, he was like, "Oh, do you want to come with me to the studio?" I had nothing to do. So I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And then, we made that video that you posted, that you showed a bit earlier. We made a couple others, and we've just been doing it ever since.
So you said you've been doing that for how long now?
I've been doing it for, I want to say 2 years now. I think it's going to be 2 years or so. He's been doing it for about 4 or 5.
Okay. And then I mean, you guys are way over there, right? I don't even know how many thousands of miles that is away from the United States, but could you guys see yourself blowing up over just that one clip? Like, did that shock the hell out of you guys? Or you're like, oh, yeah, we knew this was going to be funny as hell?
No, because okay, so the reality of it, we had no idea. So we just got in, and like the video came out in the end is very different from how it actually went in the studio, because we're very much the type of people to go on tangents. We don't really take many things seriously, and so he said it, and then the reaction that you saw was much longer because he was completely in character, and I was just like, I just kept going. I'm like, you can't. How? What do you mean? Like, you can't just, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so like we watched the final video. The final video was, I think, like 6 minutes because we just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But obviously, because he's a social media guru, he was just like, we can't drop a 6 minute video, dog. So he's like, I'll just cut it down to 30 seconds and we'll see what happens. And then, it blew up.
Yeah, like I said, man, you said you've seen that clip 100 times. I think it's been on my algorithm at least a few thousand times.
That's
like
crazy.
Seriously, like you guys, like I said, I don't know. Like, it's just, I show these clips to my son, and are either one of you guys dads by chance?
No, neither of us. No.
So they're kind of like dad jokes.
A little bit, yeah. Some of them.
Right? That's what my son kind of says. He's like, these are like dad jokes. I was like, and that's probably why I find them hilarious, because they're kind of like dad jokes. So that's why I was like, if you guys are dads, I was like, maybe that's kind of what inspires the very obvious questions that you guys.
I think by the time we become dads, that's going to take it to another level. I think that's when we're gonna really tap into like the true nature of what we can do here. But I mean, for now, we're vibing, we're chilling.
So let's take a left turn, man. Let's talk about, because I've seen tons of clips from you talking about wrestling, and I had only seen that recently, and I was like, oh shit! I was like, this dude's a huge wrestling fan. I was like, I got to get him on the show. And then seeing that you were overseas and where you're at, I would love to get a fan's perspective from across the ocean, multiple oceans, to get an idea of what people think about WWE, AEW, TNA. What is popular, I guess, there where you're at in Dubai.
So over here, it's very much WWE. You have a few people who are aware of what AEW is, but don't necessarily watch. You have a lot of people who know TNA, especially since WWE was working with TNA.
Right.
I think it's still working with TNA.
They are.
So there's a good. I think WWE is still the main one, and then you have niche, like small groups of people who know, like New Japan, who know AEW, who know TNA, CMLL, AAA, and but WWE is definitely on top, definitely.
Now they're gonna be the WrestleMania is in Saudi coming up in next year, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are you attending the show?
I would love to.
How far is that from you?
It's not too far. I think it's about a 3-hour flight.
Okay.
4 hour flight. So it's not too bad. But it depends on my schedule, my calendar. I would love to, because like I've never been to a wrestling show ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, if they're right there across the pond, a few minutes away, then I would love to check it out. But we'll see.
And I think that would, honestly, man, if you made that show, it would probably ruin you for any other wrestling events ever, because I would imagine in Saudi Arabia, first WrestleMania overseas, that it's going to be insane.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. I think
there's I've been to 4 WrestleManias, and they've all been pretty. Yeah,
I mean, WrestleMania is like, that's the entire point of WrestleMania, right? It's like the Super Bowl for wrestling. So like, I imagine that if they're having one overseas, especially this first one, they're going to pull out all the stops. But we'll see, because like wrestling shows in Saudi have always been a bit like controversial, like for many different reasons.
Right.
So we'll see. Like if I don't go there live, I'll definitely watch it. Like I have to watch it. And I'm so curious to see what they're going to do for that.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be maybe probably one of the biggest WrestleManias ever. What sucks is that it's outside of the United States, but I've been, like I said, I've been to 4 WrestleManias. It's an awesome experience. I haven't been to a Mania with this 2-night format. I'm still not 100% for the 2-night format. So that's just my opinion. I don't know what you think about the 2 nights, and now SummerSlam is 2 nights. It's like, so are they going to make the Rumble and all these, like their 4 major PLEs? Are they going to go for 2 nights on all of them?
I think during obviously, because this came about because of COVID. I think because of COVID, that made sense. And I don't know if I agree now. I don't, but at the same time, I can see why they would, because then they could put as much stuff on the card as they really want to. But not every single match that they put on there should be a WrestleMania match, if you ask me. But that's right. I guess that's a different conversation. I think overall the 2-night format is fine. It's just like for people like me who are not in the States, it's a bit of a hassle.
I would imagine, exactly, because you got to watch it. Like it comes on, WrestleMania comes on, I think probably here on the West Coast at maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock my time. So that's like, what is that like? That's like 3 o'clock in the morning for you, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Like,
so SummerSlam that's happening in a few hours, that's 2 a.m. on my side.
That's crazy.
So for me, it's fine. Like, because it's a Sunday show, I don't mind, because then I can watch it later on in the day, the same Sunday. But for example, a Monday show that's at 2 a.m., I can't do that. I have work, you know? And so I can't go on social media that whole Monday, because otherwise I'm going to see the results of the match. So I have to essentially go dark until I get back home on Monday and then watch night 2. And then I'll be able to like interact with like social media afterwards. So it's kind of wild, honestly.
Do you guys still have the WWE network over there?
No, we do not. We do not.
Because I knew it was international because of how all the TV rights and everything is. So how do you guys watch? How do you watch Raw? How do you watch SmackDown? What are those on for
Netflix.
You guys? So SmackDown's on Netflix for you guys?
SmackDown's on Netflix, yeah. I think even NXT's on Netflix. I haven't checked. I don't really watch it, but like I think so too. So we get all the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views, when they're happening live, they're live on Netflix. And then once the pay-per-view is over, they're just there, so you can just go watch them.
And okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's not how it works here.
I heard.
Over here, the PLEs are on ESPN, and Raw is on Netflix, and SmackDown is on USA.
USA, yeah.
You guys got it. You guys got it made over there, man. You just put it on Netflix, and
I never understood it, why the product is in America, but Americans have to jump through so many hoops to watch the product. I never understood. But hey, I'm not the one making decisions, so whatever.
Right. To be honest with you, I loved the WWE network. And then it went to Peacock. Everything WWE was on Peacock, and that was the worst fucking app ever. You couldn't navigate, you couldn't search. It was awful. And the WWE network, that made you were like, man, I wish it could go back to that. And then when they announced the Netflix deal, it's like, man, come on. It's like, you got to watch it on so many different formats. And then, if you're watching AEW, if you're watching TNA, now those are on other things. It's like, oh my God, like, you're right. For it being American programming, we really do have to jump through a lot of damn hoops just to watch something. You guys put it on Netflix, and you leave it on Netflix all day. You're good to go.
It's really funny, because then when I watch it on Netflix, and they're like, oh, for premium subscribers, you have to go to ESPN to see the rest of the card. I'm like, that's insane. Like we're actively watching this on Netflix right now. Why are we pushing them to another place to continue watching this pay-per-view that is still happening live? That is insane. Yeah. But hey. I don't make the rules.
Right. Well, hey man, like I said, big shows coming up. I'm here in Arizona, for my audience that knows me. And a big rumor is that the Royal Rumble is going to be in Phoenix because I guess the city of Phoenix signed some kind of deal with TKO or maybe the UFC. I'm trying to, if somebody can correct me, I'm sure somebody in the audience will after. But yeah, Phoenix signed a deal. So they're talking it really could happen, the Royal Rumble. That is one show that is left on my WWE list. I've been to SummerSlam. I've been to Survivor Series. I've been to a handful of WrestleManias, but I have yet to see a Royal Rumble live and in person. And it's going to hopefully be in Phoenix. So what do you say, man? International, you come check out your first show, and it's in Phoenix, Arizona.
I mean,
you change one desert for another.
I mean, if they let me, like, I ain't got no problem.
Yeah, how does that work with international travel, man? This is coming from an ignorant American that doesn't really travel international. Like, if you wanted to fly to Phoenix, like, what kind of hoops do you got to go through?
I would have to apply for a visa like 6 months in advance. So, like, I would have to do it like now. And then I would have to wait for my interview. They'll do the interview. I don't know what the interview process is like now, but that will happen. And then I think it's 2 weeks after the interview is when I will get the yes or the no. And then I would have to book my tickets, fly in, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's a normal process for if you're traveling anywhere that requires a visa. But I know that the time frame is a bit wide because 6 months is a lot. Like 6 months in advance is a lot. But yeah, so
that's crazy. Just to travel international, that's crazy.
Just to travel. But I think that's only in the US because I know that there are other places where, like, for example, your ID card, your national ID card here is enough for you to just go in without a visa. So in that case, you just apply. You're just like, oh, I'm going there. You buy the ticket, and then that's it. But like America has a few more. America and the UK have a bit more restrictions to jump through. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Especially for a Nigerian, but that's a different conversation.
Right? You're like, that's a different show.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, man, we've touched on your show with your brother. But yeah, tell me about, you started doing some, I've seen a lot of clips lately about wrestling and stuff. Tell me about what got you into wrestling, man, and what kind of got you hooked.
Oh, wow. What got me into wrestling? So I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid, pretty much, since I was like 5 or so. So we talked about it a bit earlier, but I kind of tuned in at the end of the Attitude Era and like at the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era. So I actually remember seeing like Cena. I watched that episode where Cena like debuted and he slapped the shit out of Kurt Angle. That was something else. But yeah, so it's funny because Attitude Era means like we had American Badass Undertaker, but we also knew that Undertaker was a demon, a cultist, whatever. So there was that. It was really jarring. But I think that the pageantry of that entire thing, where it's like, oh, this supernatural being is going to come to the ring and fight for this giant gold belt. As a kid, in the most simplest of terms, I think that was pretty much it. It was just a pageantry. Like, I remember vividly Triple H doing like his water spit thing for his entrance, and that was hype as hell. I remember Batista doing like the machine gun thing when he comes in, especially with Big Gold. Oh, that was crazy. Kurt Angle coming out and getting the "You Suck" chants. There's just something about like the characters that, like, once they hook you, they just hook you. Right. And then you get into all this other minutia of it where it's like, okay, was that a good match? Was that a bad match? Why is this happening? And then it gets so interesting. The way I describe it to people who don't get it is basically a soap opera, an action soap opera, basically. Where they settle conflicts by beating each other's ass. And that's pretty much it. I think for me that was it. That was it.
Now, let me ask you, since you're watching that, in another, international in another country, with the
Mhm.
cultural differences, whether it be religion or just the societal, the way things are done where you lived, where you grew up. Was
Yeah.
there any kind of like editing or restrictions from the WWE, like for the television? Like, was anything edited out that you guys couldn't see, or like you weren't allowed to watch?
Actually, to a large extent, no. I watch most of I watch most of my wrestling in Nigeria, and so I think there was like a 2-3 day delay between shows
Okay.
where like Raw would be on Monday, but I won't be able to see it until like Wednesday, for example.
Gotcha.
And they would chop down the shows to just like the best bits, and they
Oh,
had
really? So you wouldn't see like the whole episode?
you wouldn't see like the whole thing. No, no, no. So you would see. So you had Raw had Bottom Line, and SmackDown had Afterburn, and basically you would have. I think it was Josh Grisham who was hosting both
Oh,
shows,
I
and
know
so
what
he
you're
would just
talking
come
about.
in. Yeah, he would just come in and give like a recap, or like he would send off each
Right.
segment, right? But it was very much like summarized. So instead of being, let's say, 2 hours, it was only like an hour long. And yeah, that's pretty. Then when I moved here, I was just watching it online, pretty much wherever I could find it.
Right.
And that's when I realized that I've really been missing out on a lot of stuff. And as a result, because of the way I was watching it, I didn't really get any edits. I didn't really get anything like chopped off. The only thing that I would miss would be I wouldn't see the ads that go on for the show, which
Right.
that's the W in my book.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. No real differences, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I always wondered. I'm like, I wonder what other people are seeing in other countries, aside from the fact now that I know you're spoiled as hell by just putting on Netflix and you could see everything. You don't have to jump to anything else. Like, that's awesome. I wish we had it like that here, but unfortunately, that's not the case. But yeah, I was just wondering, like, because back in the day, when before all the apps and streaming, Raw was on USA and SmackDown was on either Fox or one of the other networks. So it was just two things that you had to keep track of before streaming went crazy with and pretty much ruined everything. Like before, we used to just have cable, and we thought cable was just it got so expensive with all the premiums and the add-ons and this and that. And then the whole appeal to going to streaming was it wasn't crazy expensive. But man, I don't know what it cost over there, but all the streaming services is more than what I used to pay for cable. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's interesting. Especially since a lot of them are doing the same stuff. Like if you go on, for example, Disney Plus, you're gonna get more or less the same stuff as you get on Netflix. If you go on Netflix, you're gonna get the same stuff as like Hulu Plus. It's so weird, but like whatever. Businesses are gonna business, I guess.
I want to talk about the card a little bit with you, and
sure.
I got to ask, being from Nigeria, so Obafemi, is he legit from Nigeria?
As far as I can tell, yeah. As far as I can tell, yeah. I can't remember his real name off the top of my head, but it is a distinctly Nigerian name. The only thing that I have issue with is the pronunciation of his name, but I there's nothing I can do about that, really.
Oh, how should it be pronounced?
Because it's Oba. It's supposed to be Obafemi, but like it's Obafemi, which is it's such a small difference, but like it's so jarring to hear. But whatever, I've adjusted to it now.
All right. Well, I'll try to be aware of how I'm saying his name.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
But other than that, are people like, damn, it'd be awesome to have this guy as he could be a future face of the WWE, like the guy. I mean, growing up watching the Attitude Era and like the cruiserweight division in WCW. I don't know if you have a lot of exposure to WCW back in the day, but watching guys like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, that was the first time seeing, like, because I'm Mexican American, having representation and these guys being like the guy. Like,
yeah.
Culturally, you're like, wow, that's awesome. Because as a kid, as a kid, I'm watching Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, all these guys, and you're not really seeing representation. And now we're seeing on an international level so much different representation from, now we got a ton of Japanese wrestlers in the WWE, and, Latino and Hispanic wrestlers. I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, Stephanie Vaquer, she's definitely one of the bigger faces of the women's division. She's unfortunately hurt right now, but it's like, it's awesome to see the diversity and representation of so many different cultures. And how do you guys over there, how do you view it?
So for me, I'm glad that it happens. It's something that we don't get to see much of in media. We don't get to see black folk in media, first of all, but then not only black folk, but like Nigerians as well. They're usually depicted in a certain way. So for Femi, where he's no nonsense, he's just the ruler. And it's so funny because you, as a Nigerian, you watch him and you can see a lot of the Nigerian-ness in it, because like the way he talks, where he's like, he's the ruler, he's the conqueror. That's pretty much how we talk. We're very, I want to say poetic, but like not poetic as such. We're very deliberate with the words that we use, and we're very imaginative as well with the way that we use the words that we use. And so to see him cut promos the way he cut promos, and even if it's scripted, like even if you have someone that gives him the promo to say, the way he says it conveys an authenticity that we didn't see. Because I remember when Apollo Crews was trying to do the Nigerian gimmick, and he oversold the accent. He had a spear, which yes, okay.
So you're saying that Oba is less of a stereotype or a caricature, and he's more authentic.
He feels more authentic. Yeah, he feels more authentic. I think there's a lot of aspects of him that might be stereotypical for Nigerians, depending on the Nigerians that you've met. But also, we have to remember that Nigerians are not a monolith, where we contain multitudes. But he is very much, I think, overall, he's a very good representation. I think some people are going to be upset about him being who he is, but that's again just because like we contain multitudes. Like for me, he represents Nigeria pretty well. He represents a Nigerian very well. But somebody else from a different tribe, from a different culture in Nigeria might not necessarily agree. And that's okay. But I think overall we can agree that having a Nigerian in the WWE that is at the level that he's at and potentially going to be a main eventer it doesn't hurt. Like, it's good for representation, if nothing else.
Right. Yeah, because, I remember thinking back in the day, and WWE's done a lot of cringy stuff over time. And I would say, like, with the whole Eddie Guerrero, that felt very stereotypical and like a caricature that I wasn't necessarily happy with, but it is what it is. But to see more Latino representation now, and them not be a stereotype, and they let Stephanie Vaquer do her thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the complaints from the American audience, like the white audience, like, oh, her accent and this and that. It's like, come on. It's like, this is a show. We're being entertained. Just roll with it. You know what I'm saying?
Shush. We've done decades of like white folk like in the driver's seat. Like, it's okay. Shush. Like, shush. Shush. Brock Lesnar is still a thing. Shush. And we know how Brock Lesnar is with like black champions so far. So shush. Y'all don't.
But you know what? I think the whole Oba. I think the Oba feud with Brock, I'm surprised at how it has gone. And I really never saw it turning into them going at each other 3 times. So let's just jump right into the card now that we're talking about it.
Yeah,
Do you think Oba is going over in that match?
I think Oba is going over in that match. I don't see why. I don't see why he wouldn't go over in that match. Honest to God, they've done it the first time. They did this whole Brock Lesnar's retiring, but he didn't actually retire thing. Lesnar came back. Lesnar won. They are one apiece. Like, if they don't pull the trigger on like Femi now, I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger, and that concerns me. The fact that we don't know, or like we're not sure if Oba is going over is concerning.
You know, I don't. The way WWE is kind of handling their booking lately, I'm not really able to predict this card.
Fair.
I don't know if Oba's going to go over. I think the best thing would be for Oba to go over. But if Brock wins, I wouldn't be shocked. Let's just say that.
I agree with you. I'd be disappointed as hell, though.
Oh, I would be super disappointed. But I feel like Brock's already put Oba over, so I guess they could justify it. But if Brock goes over, I think they should do it in a way that it's not clean. This way, it doesn't really hurt Oba's momentum.
That is
I
the
don't
hope.
really think anything could hurt Oba's momentum unless Brock squashed him, which I don't see that happening.
True.
So I hope WWE handles this right. I've loved the first two matches from them. I would love to see them just beat the hell out of each other, but I want to see Oba's hand raised at the end of the match.
I agree. I think, like I said, I think it has to be. But well, I guess we'll see. Like, to me, like I said, it's a no-brainer. I think Oba has to go over. I think if he doesn't go over, like, the reaction is going to be nuclear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. But we'll see. But like you said, they could get away with it if Lesnar doesn't win clean.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah.
And speaking of like nuclear, like these main events, I'm a little puzzled at. I feel like the build-up between Cody and CM Punk, I felt like it was rushed. I think I don't know, the internet opinion is mixed, I think, on it. I think everybody is dying to see Cody go heel. What are your thoughts on this match between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes? Do we care about it, or is this going to be a hell of a match and maybe we see some WWE actually shake things up and Cody does go heel and maybe he goes over Punk? Are we finally going to see it happen?
I don't know. I thought, because, oh man, Cody Rhodes is such an interesting character to me. I don't like him. I've grown tired of him over time. And as someone that watches AEW, I was tired of him then. You know? So I thought he was going to come into the WWE and change something, and he just didn't. And he's been the same guy for the past few years. I thought he was going to go heel at WrestleMania, because that's kind of the direction that I felt that's the direction they were steering us in, and we didn't go there. And so now I don't know. Like, not only do I don't know, I also don't really think I care. Like, if he goes heel now, I'll be like, yeah, finally. But like, I don't know if that's enough for me to tune into SmackDown the next week. You know what I mean? Like, okay, but a little too late for me personally. I hope Punk wins. And I hope that Punk winning, yeah, exactly. I hope Punk winning is why Cody goes heel. Then I'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. But if he's going heel for the sake of it, or I don't know. It's so puzzling to me. I don't know.
And with the way WWE's product has been lately, not the best. You know, I've watched WWE since I was 5 years old. I'm 46 years old. I've seen a lot of bad in the WWE. So it's like, you know, it's like anything else, man. You got your good, you got your bad. It's an awesome ride. Just enjoy it. I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community. I don't
Yeah.
really consider myself a part of that group because
Fair.
they seem to complain and cry a lot. When I think of what The Rock said is Cody crybabies, I think of the IWC.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Now, speaking of The Rock, do you think because of the ticket sales that have been not so great for SummerSlam night 1, night 2, do you think WWE pulls out all the stops? Could we see The Rock? Could we see anything big? There's rumors of Kevin Owens coming back, maybe Randy Orton, maybe Stephanie Vaquer. But in regards to like the main events, we're talking about Seth Rollins versus Roman, CM Punk versus Cody. Maybe the biggest thing that happens during the Cody CM Punk match is Cody goes heel. How do we feel about Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns? Do we care? Is this a couple years too late? Like they already kind of did this, and it ended in a no disqualification. I don't know if you remember that a few years ago when Roman was riding high.
Yeah.
There was also been crazy rumors that Jon Moxley shows up. I don't know what his contract situation looks like in AEW, but I really don't see that happening. I mean, that would be a shocking turn of events.
I don't know how he could. He's currently Continental Champion. I don't.
This is the internet sometimes, man. They just throw out crazy shit.
It would be a cool moment, but
Right.
I don't. Okay, that's all right.
Like going back to actually, hold on. If I could jump back to the CM Punk Cody Rhodes match,
Yeah,
could
sure.
we see The Rock arrive? And a couple years ago, he told Cody he wanted his soul. Maybe Cody finally gives him his soul, and that's where he becomes maybe like a corporate type of champion.
That would be cool. That would be cool. I don't know if WWE does cool anymore. That's the problem. I don't know if they do. That's a creative way to handle the situation. And I don't know if WWE still does creative anymore. That's the thing. That sounds amazing. And that's a callback to something that happened so long ago. Most people forgot about it. Punk already has his issues with The Rock as well. So bringing The Rock back for this match and making Cody heel, 5 stars across the board. Do I think it's going to happen? No. They haven't shown me that they want to do anything creative.
Right.
Like since this entire Netflix arc started, they've pretty much just been just belting things out for the sake of belting things out without really. I don't know what to say. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen, and it's disappointing as hell.
I mean, I think it would be cool. I think it would be a way to salvage that storyline because I feel like we were really let down with all of that.
It hasn't been. It's been rough, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's been rough.
It's been rough. So let's jump now. Let's jump. We're kind of jumping back and forth, but let's talk about Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. How do we feel about this match? Do you care? Should we care?
I personally, I do care because Reigns is one of my favorites. So I don't know who wins this one, honestly, because I could see them going either way, if I'm being honest. But I think we're leaning towards Reigns retaining just because the current run that he's on has been very much, I can do all this by myself. I don't need any interference. And so I assume that's going to like tie into this match in some way. But we'll see. Like that's the good thing about about wrestling in general is that realistically you never know.
Right.
Like we can have our assumptions, we can have what we think is going to happen. We never know. So
right.
Yeah. I can see Rollins
conclusion that we're coming to is what you're saying is WWE doesn't do anything fun anymore.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it, but like it's the truth. Like we haven't really seen anything in the past few pay-per-views that is like, so we'll see, I guess. I'm cautiously optimistic about it, but I'm not holding my breath.
I mean, what kind of surprise, if any, could we even, like we kind of speculated if The Rock showed up, Cody sells his soul, he becomes The Rock's puppet, whatever. what kind of craziness could we see in the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins match?
I think the main thing that we could see is, Fatu has a match later, but in theory, Fatu coming out and like taking out Rollins, and Roman is just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I didn't ask you to do any of this. That could be fun, I guess, because then we further that storyline. But I don't know. I don't know. We know Moxley isn't coming in, even though that would be cool.
Right.
I don't know how they. Somebody has to lose clean. I think somebody has to lose clean. We can't have another no DQ. Well, I say that, but we shouldn't have another no DQ. Is more accurate.
Right. All right.
Also,
well,
yeah.
Let's go to a match that I personally don't give a shit about. Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Does anybody care about this match? And what the hell are they doing with Gunther?
I don't know. And I don't know. I've looked at this from many angles because Gunther is supposed to be like the career killer right now, which is great. But then bringing Nick Aldis out of retirement just for him to be killed by Gunther doesn't seem like a logical thing to do. So it's either Gunther loses to someone who hasn't wrestled in a couple of years, or they bring out Nick Aldis just to put him back on the shelf again. And neither of those two things sound sensible.
Right. Because I feel like, what direction are they going to go with Gunther after this?
I don't know. I feel
like they've really, I don't know what the hell happened. He's retiring guys, and then now he's facing Nick Aldis. It's like, it doesn't really add up. Like,
Nick Aldis was already retired.
Right?
That's like,
yeah, you're going to beat a guy that already retired. Okay, cool. Now what? What's next?
We could have easily had Sami Zayn in Nick Aldis's place. Easily.
I mean,
and
yeah.
They would make so much more sense. But no, I don't know, gang. That's why it's so tough. This is why it's so tough.
So far, I mean, honestly, like, here's another match that I totally don't understand. The Usos and Fatu versus Royce Keys and LA Knight, Solo Sikoa. Like, it's like, what the hell? These are like one of those matches that used to be on the pre-show of a pay-per-view back in the day. You had your 1 hour before the show started. That's like, those are like throwaway matches, and that's what you would have had on, right?
I think, to be fair, this is on the card because of just the amount of star power. Because you have LA Knight, you have Fatu, you have Keys, you have Solo as a babyface, which people really like now. And you have the Usos, who are a pretty good tag team, like, by default. So I think it's just a matter of putting all these these people don't have anything to do story-wise, so let's just chunk them together.
Right.
And see what happens.
And now, to be honest, the two matches that I think could steal maybe each night, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky, I think could be a phenomenal. I hope they give these ladies as much time. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see at least a 15, 20-minute match out of these.
Yep.
That would be great, right? I don't want to. If I see a 5-minute match from these two, I'm going to be pissed. Seriously, because there's really no women on either one of these nights.
Nope.
I don't know what's happening, but WWE is kind of taking a step backwards in the women's division, in my opinion. I don't know what's going on. They got so many talented women. It's not even funny. The women can carry a whole card by themselves.
They have enough talented women to have multiple contenders for a tag team championship. And yet we have one women's match.
Right.
What are we talking about, gang? Like, what are we talking about? You could have easily put together a random match. You could take Nikki Bella and someone from Fatal Influence. That's a match. There's so many ways you could do this. And they just didn't do it. And the worst part of it is the match that they do have on the card, because of who the people are, we know that it's going to be good, right? Or at least we hope that it's going to be good. But the story that they brought into it is the weakest dog shit ass story. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? This is insane. As far as I'm concerned,
I hope these ladies. I hope the ladies steal the show on whatever night they're on.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Jesus.
So I hope they steal the show. Now the match, I'm actually excited with. I think these guys, whatever night they're on, they're going to steal the show.
Penta Gable, right?
What's your thoughts and feelings on this match?
Penta versus Gable?
And I think we're.
I think you're right. I think that's probably going to be whatever night that's on. That's going to be the match of the night, almost definitely.
Yeah,
almost definitely. Yeah. Apart from just the nature of those two being pretty good in the ring, especially Gable.
Right.
Gable's story, like Gable's whole like arc of like, oh, I don't fuck with luchadors, and then he goes into fucking AAA, CMLL, and then he's just like, oh man, not CMLL. I'm mixing them up, but you get the idea.
AAA.
It's just so good, man. It's just so good.
Did you catch that match?
Huh?
Did you catch that match with Gable and the Grande Americano
match? I did not. I saw clips, but like I could tell, even from the clips, I could tell like they went to war. Yeah. And Gable was, that's the thing, Gable was already, in my opinion, one of like a very underrated wrestler.
Right.
So like, this is gonna be gas. This is gonna be gas. Oh my god. I'm so excited for this match, honestly. And it's for the Intercontinental Championship as well. So Gable, like if Gable wins, I think that's his first title.
It is.
Yeah, done.
I think he was 24/7 champ, but that's not a real title.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And so where do you see these two going though? Because Penta, he's been huge since he's come in to the WWE. Chad Gable had to reinvent himself. Where do you kind of see these two guys going as far as like maybe being in the main event picture? Or do you think Penta's not there yet? Do you think
I don't know if they're
in the Intercontinental mix for a while?
I don't know if, because Penta's been in the Intercontinental mix for a while already.
Yeah.
Ideally, he would go to the next level. But I don't know if they're going to actually do that. I've been kind of watching that entire thing go down, and like there's weirdness there. Rusev coming in from AEW and kind of being a jobber the entire time is like, okay, sure, like we need to have a jobber, fine, but like they really haven't done anything with Penta outside of just like celebrating the fact that he exists,
right?
And so I think if he loses this title, we're probably not going to see him for a while, unless they might move him to AAA.
Or he goes back with Phoenix, and they have the Lucha Brothers again.
Yeah, which by the way, I guess we'll see. But the Lucha Brothers in like AEW and like everywhere else have been gas,
right?
So like, I don't know if WWE is gonna let them do that, but like they really should,
because the tag team division sucks, like so bad.
Yeah.
You need something to kind of ignite that fire again with the tag team division. So if you threw those guys into the tag team division after Penta's had a pretty solid run as Intercontinental champ, I think that would be a good move on WWE's part. But as you say, they're not doing anything fun. Oh, my internet's being a little shaky. I don't know. I still got you.
Yeah, you still got me. I thought the idea was to put them together like from the jump, actually, and then they didn't. And so I was like, okay, fine, they will eventually, and then they just never did. This is a good opportunity for them to do so. Like you said, it injects life into whichever tag team division they go into, whether Raw or SmackDown. They could even take them to. I wouldn't even mind them going to NXT for a little bit, getting those titles first, and then like collecting like all three titles, like do like a big thing for them. But I know they're not going to do that. But yes, whichever tag division they go to, if they go in the direction of a tag team, which it's kind of a no brainer, but we'll see. I think that'll be dope. I think that'll be very good, especially because the vision is kind of meh, if I'm being honest, as a tag team right now, and they let go of the Motor City Machine Gun. Anyway, that's
I mean, I guess to kind of touch on that, man, the WWE roster is so deep, and sometimes people are going to get released, and I think people, I don't know, they throw fits online about I can't believe they fired or this and that. It's like, man, you know what? It would be great if everyone could be champion, but that's just not the reality of the situation.
I think it's not about being champion, right? It's about you have a pretty deep roster.
Yeah.
And you don't have any creative plans for these people that are on your roster. And sometimes you do have creative plans, but then you just discard them. Kairi Sane was in a very long-term storyline with Asuka and Io, and then she just was gone. And they had to pivot the story around just being Asuka and Io. But Kairi Sane was there. I don't understand why they let her go, for example. Right. I don't get that. Because she was being used. It wasn't a matter of like, oh, she was in the shelf or she was like in hiding somewhere. She was actively being used. And then and I think in that scenario, that's when I think outrage is warranted, where you have a talent that is actively being used, that is actively involved in storylines, and then you let them go. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you have talent that you're not using, fair game.
Right.
Like you can't use everybody. It is what it is. Fine. You've set them free. They can go and do something else somewhere else. But if you are actively using, or if the wrestler is actively involved in a storyline of some sort, do something with him or them. Like it's not complicated. We didn't need to, for example, we didn't need to have Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
No.
We could have easily had Aleister Black in Pat McAfee's place.
Right.
We didn't need to have Ryan Garcia at Raw. I think it was earlier this week. We could have had somebody else in his place. We don't need to have Johnny Gargano has been essentially comatose for the past few months.
Right.
Right. I don't expect them to release Johnny Gargano because like they're actively using him. He's on every week, so he's being used. But at the same time, like if they let him go after just doing that for all these months, of course people are going to be upset because he could have done so many other things in the time that he was there rather than just like laying down comatose. And to be fair, if that's what Johnny wants to do, all the more power to him. But we want to see him wrestle.
Right.
We want to see him wrestle, dog. Like, anyway. Sorry, I tangent. So my bad.
Oh, good, man. That's what. Hey, this is all things wrestling. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about wrestling. Overall, obviously, we have not seen night 1 and night 2 yet. Do you think SummerSlam is going to be a hit, or do you think it's going to be a dud? Like, do you think WWE? Do you think they're hearing what the fans are saying? Do you think they're real? I mean, look, you're seeing it. They're getting less crowds. The product I feel is stale right now. They gotta do something exciting. I think tonight or tomorrow night or both nights. Do you think WWE is gonna do it, or you think it's gonna just keep going as it is?
I think SummerSlam is going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to do anything too crazy. That being said, I hope they do. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope I'm absolute. I hope like Triple H sends me a video and he's laughing in my face. Like, haha, you thought we couldn't do it, but we did it. Like, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't. I don't. It doesn't feel like they care about what we have to say. And I don't, when I say we, I don't necessarily mean the IWC. I mean like the fans in general. It doesn't feel like they care what we feel one way or another. It feels like they have their plans. They have their Unreal reality TV show that they're going to push season 4 of. And it just feels like they're in autopilot right now. It doesn't feel like they're willing they're willing to do anything that would rock the boat more than what's been working so far. And unfortunately, what's been working so far is boring. It's boring. I don't know why.
It's time to shake things up for sure.
I would appreciate that, yeah, because I mean, especially with the people that we have, like we're talking about. For me, right, we're talking about a card that has CM Punk going up against Cody Rhodes. We're talking about a card that has Roman Reigns going up against Seth Rollins. And to a large extent, I don't care about either one.
I'm with you there, man. I'm with you. It's
and
like
that is insane.
You would think about it and be like, I would be totally excited for this. It's like, man.
Exactly. Like, this is insane. Like, we shouldn't, like, I don't understand how that card can exist and nobody is excited for it.
Exactly. Yeah. WWE, they're missing the boat right now, but maybe they shock us tonight. Maybe they shock us tomorrow.
Maybe
they don't. Well, either way, man, I appreciate you coming
Raw.
on the show today to talk
Maybe
about
they'll shock us on Raw.
I don't want to wait till Raw. I want to see it tonight or tomorrow or both nights. Like, you know?
We'll see. It's their big 4, right? We'll see. But I worry. My biggest worry is that they just keep everything for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But even then, the last WrestleMania, they didn't really do anything anyway. So
Night 1 was awful. Night 2 was really, really good. Night 1 was
yeah. They did.
Yeah.
They really
Night 1 was really bad though.
But Night 1 was so bad it kind of brought down Night 2 as well.
I would agree, but Night 2 almost salvaged the weekend, but not quite.
almost.
Yeah,
like, again, keep in mind, by the way, like, I know this is a localized problem, right? So for me, I was like, oh fuck, WrestleMania, you know? Mm-hmm. I had time off from work. I was okay, you know what? I'll stay up. I'm gonna watch this live.
Right.
So I can interact with other people who are also watching it live. And I don't think I've ever felt so disappointed on it was, I remember it was like 7 a.m. I just finished watching Cody and Randy. And I just like went out on my balcony. I'm like, I can't believe this, man. This is ridiculous. And that's me watching it on Netflix. That's me not having any ads. Apart from like the WWE ads.
That's
like,
crazy.
I was like, this is insane.
That's funny.
There were so many times where I was like, okay, we're waiting for the next match. The next match happens. And then like 4 or 5 minutes later, we're back to ads again. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was, and I think that's where, like, for a lot of people, that's where, like, we're just like, okay, that's it. We're good. We're good.
I remember thinking, because I was watching, you know.
Did I lose you? Are you still here?
Yep, I'm here, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm having choppy internet connection for some reason. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Dayo, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm still with you. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, man. The technical difficulties, internet connection
Yeah.
is being choppy right now. So
It'd be like that sometimes.
well, like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on. I loved hearing your insight, man. Tell me and tell my audience, where can we find you? All the socials.
Okay,
And
so
when you got anything exciting coming up that you want to promote?
pretty much everywhere that matters, I'm Black Looney Tune, Tune. So that's Instagram, TikTok, all the normal social medias. YouTube, Trident GC, with my brother. So that's our joint page. We're doing a lot of different stuff. So the regular videos are going to be coming out, but I'm doing more wrestling related things. On the YouTube channel, we're trying to do more gaming, more long form stuff, and just try doing as many different things as possible because we love all of it. So yeah.
Got to eat it up, man. Got it. It's all about content, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you're not creating content, you're getting left behind, right?
Yes, sir. And you're missing out too. Like it could be your passion, and you never know.
Right. But hey, man, Dayo, I appreciate you coming on the show. Hang tight for a second after we go off the air. Just wanted to chat with you for a minute. But
sure.
I appreciate you coming on all the way from Dubai, man. And now my audience knows where to find you. Thank you for tuning into the show. I'm your host, Tony Twist. You can find ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully SummerSlam surprises all of us and knocks it out of the park. We're hoping night 1 tonight. Catch it on, if you're in the United States, on ESPN. If you're overseas, I guess you're watching everything on Netflix. Well, hey, I'm your host, Tony Twist. This is ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast, and we are out of here.